go ahead and activate the pattern. And you can see when you activate the pattern and you hit simulate, it starts to interact with your bottom garment, right? Simulate, and it's showing me that it is holding in place. Now I can go and show in 3D. And we can see that it got a little bit better, right? Okay, except for this, it's gonna drive me crazy. Wait. I believe the fold angles are wrong in here. So let's talk about the chest first, okay? One thing I noticed about the chest is that because we're narrowing the pattern down here, the chest is narrow. So my first instinct to see what is going on with the chest and how much I'm missing on the chest is to overlay the front to the back, because it really should be very close to even as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna layer it to where the button placement is. Let's turn on my translucent surface just to see the patterns when I'm overlaying them. I'm gonna go ahead and get to that little space right there. I'm actually going to bring the shoulders down here. So that tells me that there's some things off. So we can see that the front and the back are definitely not aligned as far as the width is concerned. If I put it to the exact center front here, I'm aligning these points, right? I'm aligning the shoulder and the front opening. It's telling me that my slopes are off. It's telling me that I have a lot more space that I can give to the front from the back. So I'm just gonna make a little line here and see how much I might need to add. And then I'm gonna split it in half and add it to the front side. So if that makes sense, it should be about almost 2 inches. So 1 and, this is how I used to measure, right? 1 7/8. All right, so 1 7/8 is what we can add to the front chest to make it a little bit more balanced. 1 7/8 split in half. It's like 9.375. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add 7/8 and 7/8 to the left and the right side of the front of the garment. Okay, so let's just add it here. I'm gonna add a point. Just a little ways down, because I don't want it to add it to the whole side, because then I would be messing with the design of the garment. Again, I could bring this out, and I want to right click, and I want to put 0.875, right? And I could just smooth this out visually. Well, that pink line is going to tell me what I did. I still need this. I'm going to delete this. I still need this to be 15.6. That actually 15.6. I need to drop that down. You can right click and you can change the length, and you can hit the direction to end. And that means it's going to bring it down to 15.617. All right. So I can hit simulate. So now I added it to the front and the back. I mean the two fronts, left and right. Let's just see what happened with this button placement now. We've got a little bit more to the chest. We've maintained the design lines. We got a few more drag lines, but we're gonna go ahead and fix that also. So this is telling me when you see a drag line going like this, it means there's something wrong with your shoulder. Let's go ahead and just redress it a little bit. See how much we really do have to deal with. So usually when there's drag lines going this way, it has its own fit issue. I know that one of them is the shoulder slope. So how I fix the shoulder slope, actually I'm going to go ahead and reduce this a little bit, not by much. I'm going to take this in 3/8. All right, it's a little bit better. Yeah, that gave me a little bit less drag line on the side there. I think I had it curved out too much. And I still got this back, but let's see what happens. Well, not too bad. You might need to play with this just a few, like, you know, 1/8 here, 1/8 there. So it's definitely needing a dart. However, we're gonna see what we can do. And one of the ways, I think I'm gonna go back out. 1/8 of an inch. All right. So I have to remember to add it also to the front armhole. And that is 7/8 of an inch. That's going to help too, to close up the front. Okay, so now I need to go and fix the shoulder slope. One of the ways that I fix the shoulder slope is, like I did before, overlay. Now, a shoulder slope with a forward shoulder should be forward balanced. So what I noticed is that this is not a balanced shoulder forward. It's only forward here. So what I want to do is figure out how much it is, and then I want to split it from the front to the back just to make it a little bit more straight so that we can pick up some of this in the front, some of this excess in the front. So I know I'm old school, but this is how I measure. That's like a 1/2 inch. Okay, right? So I want to take a 1/4 down from here and add a 1/4 to the front. Seems like a small amount, but it is not. So I'm going to go ahead and add a pin here. If you right click, you can add to where you want it to go. So I want to go 0.25 and add the point there. And then I'm going to go ahead and delete this point. Okay, and then that brings that. But then I want to go ahead and add a 1/4 to the front. And then right click, 0.25. Okay. Now what that did was basically drop the back and pick it up and make this line a little bit more symmetrical, front to back of the body. And then we see that some of this is relieved. All right. So we've got some of those issues fixed up. And if I just basically pick this garment up a little bit, I can see that this is also fixed somewhat. There's not so much excess in the back. We can get rid of that. And that's because we basically fixed the shoulder. So we can see that that is an improvement over what we did last time. We're just pulling it down now to where it would hit the bottom of the hip. And that's it. Now these button placements don't even you know, get on my nerves. Dressing is a vital skill. Knowing how to get the garment on properly so that you can see what. Now, if I was fitting this garment, I would say to my designer, let's add a dart. But you have to make sure that the styling calls for a dart. And if it doesn't, then that's okay. Not everything needs a dart, right? Not everything needs a dart. But I just don't like these lines here. So I feel like even more chest would be good. Which we can go ahead and do, right? We can go ahead and do. Let's add 1/4 to the front chest. More? 1/4 more? Yeah, let's just add 1/4 more. That's really 1/2 inch, right? 0.25. Then I'm going to add it to the front sleeve. Yeah, just to get that little more boxy look. Get off of some of this chest here. Right? Okay. You want to make sure that you have a picture of what the garment's supposed to look like, the finished garment, in your mind. I still feel like we could do a little bit more here, chest, but I'm not going to go gray, 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 gray. Now, one of the things you can also do is turn on your fit maps. Fit maps are not always for tightness of the garment. So I want to see my fit maps. ¿Dónde está un fit map? Stress map. So something's going on here. I think I need to resew the sleeve. So wherever you see something like a light green or something, usually that's a sewing issue, right? Because I opened this and I didn't switch out the sleeve seam, right? This is kind of close on the chest. It's not fitting. It's close. This is telling me that there's some kind of maybe elastic here. So you see the elastic. It's going to also give you like a color of something holding, right? And then everything else seems to be okay except for this here. This is crazy right here. We're going to fix that in a minute. All right, so here's the thing. We're going to go ahead and talk about patterns. Excuse me. Collars usually have double. So what they've done here is that they've taken this fabric 1, which is actually fusible. So instead of making a collar that is self on the outside and fusible on the inside, or just a single collar with fusible, which you wouldn't do that in real life, right? So you actually need to superimpose a collar over this one, and then you need to give this the regular fabric in order to see what it's really going to look like. Yes, so the normal was flipped, which is why, hold on a second, flip. I'm gonna go take this off, 0. So now I have a regular collar in fabric number 1, which is the same fabric as the shirt and everything else. However, this piece still has fusible assigned to it, which is okay, but I want a piece, layer clone over, and I want this piece not to have fusible, so I'm going to say bond off. There we go. Nice, realistic looking collar. And we have a 2-piece collar. Lining, I want to name this pattern right away so I don't forget. Top collar. The under collar has bonding, not the top. So that's one thing that we can to improve our garment. I think what I'm going to do is add a little bit to the back. So I still want some more chest space, so I'm just going to add a quarter to the back as well. So I'm going to bring it out, right click, 0.25, and then I'm going to bring the sleeves out at the back, which kind of makes sense to me actually. 0.25. All right. Okay. Now it's closed. So no matter where I put the buttons, it's going to be good like that. So now let's get these sleeve seams aligned, which is good that we have the notch there. Let's see what we did with this new measurement at the top here. So this piece right here, this seam is the problem. Alright, so it wants to come here. That means this wants to come there. That should close up the gap. A little bit. What's here? Oh. Oh, we're good. We should be good. Right here, it's going all the way, and we should be good. Hold on, something's telling me not good, but let's see. Aha. Who's telling me I have to do the whole sleeve over again? So sometimes when you're making pattern moves, your sewing is going to get kerfuffled. Let's do the front over. No. Yeah, I'm just gonna do the front over. Hey. Okay, so resewing the sleeves took away that little light green dot. And we got a nice looking garment going around so far. Alright, so we fixed some sleeve tension, we fixed some drag lines, and we're gonna try to fix this line here. We got some balance back. Oy. So, if you watch this channel, you know that pleats are my least favorite. Full strength is 57. Out here, full strength is 81, 360. 57, 0. How about we make this 90? This is a different issue. Now that I've changed this whole thing, the pitch of the garment is incorrect. So let's pick the pitch up. Which I've changed all of this. So I need to pick it up. I'm gonna have a lot of editing to do. So why don't we undress this baby again. Oh, we gotta hide. We're gonna deactivate, and then we're gonna hide in 3D. Alright. And then, oh, hit simulate. So to me, this looks like I need some more hip on the back. I'm just gonna give it at the hip because I don't really want to mess with the waistline and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to the hip. And see if that lets the pleats hang a little bit better. Use my curve tool just a little, and sometimes you don't need a whole bunch of movements, and you can go really crazy trying to do like so much fitting in depth, but sometimes you just gotta let the garment be. So that did move it out a little bit, and I still think that there's not enough here. Yep. So because I didn't like the shape, I know the shape that I want, and I'm just gonna reshape it. How do you know the shapes? I'm not going to change anything but to change the curve. It's going to give me a little bit of hip too. I want to optimize these curves. How can I optimize these curves? You can just optimize the whole pattern. Optimize curve points. Okay, it's gonna give me 2, 13. I don't want that many. 1, 2. That's good. Now let's see what that did. I have to fix this too. Sometimes a little bit better is good until you see your actual pattern. Sometimes you have to just like let it go. So what I'm going to do is just hold this. I'm going to freeze this pattern like this, and I'm going to let it go. I'm going to freeze this. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. That's it. I'm going to let it go. Now, if you're wondering how long this actually took without editing, about an hour. And this is minimal corrections. This is why the fidelity of the pattern is, you know, important. So let's get these buttons straightened out. I'm just gonna delete these buttons. I need, how many buttons I need? 5? Okay, so now I can see that there's a button placement thing here. It looks so uneven. It's terrible. Let's see. Four and a half. This should be 4.5 too. It is. And then the bottom one is what? 6. All right, so I'm gonna put the buttons back. Okay, let's go back a couple steps. Because it seems like there's a grand plan to the button placement. So I'm not gonna delete them. They're placed evenly. I believe this is so that it doesn't gape open at the bottom. And we just have to understand that. I will say here at times, you can redistribute the button placement to make sure that it meets the top and the bottom placement evenly, and at the bust is crucial for button placement. So we have, I'm going to put the garment back, let's activate it, and I'm going to put it back. Remember, you have to be on this piece here, right click and show 3D pattern. Now that we have it, we can just redress it. Now that we have it a little bit better balanced. And I'll show you one more thing before we end this video. Let's see, we got this. We got some of the drag lines out. I mean, this garment does need a dart, so don't get me wrong. I don't want to put a dart because that's not the design. Go ahead and mess around with this thing. Don't mind the noise in the background. I'm gonna go ahead and undo, 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 undo. So now we have, there you go, okay. Yeah, I believe they put this button all the way down here just to go with the bottom. Let's go pull it down. Put some. Now these top drag lines are a little bit better. The sleeve is sewn again. We did a good job, I want to say. When we get the sample, we can take a look at it and see what it does. Because right now we are not in any kind of fabric, which is a whole nother thing. So this is kind of cute now that it's just coming down. I think I would still give it a little bit of sweep at the bottom and the back, or maybe on the side. They won't be mad at me for a ½ inch. Shift, right click, 0.5. And that's nice, right? Later on, you change the measurements. That's not what we intended. It looks the same. It fits. Okay. Not bad. So, one of the things also to notice is that the sleeves, remember I told you about the sleeves, one being the cuff being on the outside and the other one, the cuff being on the inside. Let's go ahead and fix that, and then we can apply the pucker, because the pucker is not even working on the sleeve right now. The elastic is working, but this pucker here is not activated. So I want to say that we have to fix that. Should be able to select it, but let's get the cuffs in the right order. So this cuff here is on the inside where it belongs. This cuff needs to go on the inside, so we can go ahead and change the layer, simulate, and then change the layer back. So I want to make this one, I'll make the sleeve on top, layer 1. I'm going to simulate. So that I know that the cuff is underneath, which it is, I can see that. So once your simulation is done, you can go ahead and put this back to 0. And the cuff should stay underneath. Correct. Now, let's go to the sleeve, puckering. Let's go to the puckering tool. I see it on the pattern, but I'm not sure which seam the pucker is on. So default puckering offset, let's put 1. I might be looking at the wrong sleeve. Am I? No, it's just not doing anything. Okay, let's see, it's offset too, so I need the offset to be nope. Now, what I know is that this is, yeah, shirring. Not puckering, so. So there's the difference. I feel like it wasn't activated. I want to extend. Yeah, we're gonna leave it. So that's it, guys. We have made a better garment. We're gonna make some pockets. It still looks like it's gaping open. Even with all that we did, I definitely think it's the button placement. I gotta follow my specs. And that's that, guys. So here are some of the things you can think about as far as like improving your garment. Yeah, look at the back, it came out nice. Something we did there worked. And the front is nice. The collar looks good. The button placement, we just got a little, you know, I don't want to get too carried away with that one little spot because we're definitely gonna either make it more boxy or ask for a dart in the design for fit purposes, but not bad. That's what it takes to fit, guys. That's what it takes to fit. I hope you didn't get bored and fall asleep. I hope you took notes, and definitely going to be editing this down because this was 1 hour and 18 minutes. And sometimes you can get caught on a tangent, and sometimes you can get away from yourself. You got to work with what you got and try to make it work. So we tried to balance it a little bit better. We tried to make the pleats not kick out, change some specs on the garment, and we'll be back for part 2, okay, to explore some of the other fit things that we can do with this garment. All right, bye-bye.